Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from The Nation. It was published February 1st. The FBI is setting up a task force to monitor social media, but it's the worst possible candidate for the job. Now this is written by Chip Gibbons, okay? And in all honesty, in the context that they're talking about monitoring social media here, the government should not be involved in doing that at all. Period. End of story. No government agency should be doing it. I don't care. Not a one of them should be. And you're going to see why. Because this is some fucked up shit what the FBI is planning on doing here. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is not unaccustomed to suspecting domestic dissidents of being foreign agents. Oh, that's an understatement. Oh, they're also known for creating terrorist plots by radicalizing people and making them, or at least having them believe that they are domestic dissidents that are, operating with foreign powers, like the idea of like the quote-unquote terrorist attacks they thwarted. For example, like on the, the Islamic ones. So yeah. The Bureau infamously thought everyone from civil rights activists to the peace movement to opponents of South African apartheid were tools of communists and thus the Soviet Union. Well, here's the funny thing. On the note of apartheid, at least in Africa, like, with South Africa, a lot of those people that were, against apartheid, it didn't matter if they were white or black, but a lot of them were literally communists. So you shouldn't necessarily be bringing them here, bringing them in here in this context. Which is why the FBI's announcement that its task force to counter foreign influence and disinformation has plans to monitor social media should be raising serious questions. That's an understatement. Because why should the FBI be monitoring social media in the first place? Really shouldn't. I mean, you've got the NSA basically with these server farms monitoring everything on Twitter. You have them monitoring everything on like Facebook. They monitor our phone calls, and they have AIs that are smart enough to literally pick out what we're talking about and more than rudimentarily more than just a rudimentary flag it for listening later. Okay, it can actually discern what we're saying and figure it out. I mean, because we're talking, decades ago they had the ability to, with the AI, to have it flag, keywords and stuff like that. So at this point, it can sit there and kind of go, okay, yeah, this is useless. This might want to be reviewed. Yeah, this should be definitely flagged. I'm sure the AI is capable of doing stuff like that at this point. It would only make sense. So, I mean, if the NSA is doing that, why the fuck is the FBI getting involved in this shit? It makes absolutely no sense. And the NSA shouldn't even be doing it. The rhetoric around Russiagate is increasingly mirroring that of the Cold War FBI, and in some cases resurrecting some of its most insidious tendencies. The FBI never changed. Okay? You were asleep, okay? It was just, that rhetoric was towards, the war on terror, okay? This is shit that's been going on since September 11th. On the FBI openly doing this shit. Things haven't changed. This is just them extending their reach even further. No matter who is tasked with monitoring or regulating social media, serious concerns about free speech arise. Well, no one should really be monitoring social media. That's just fucking, kind of sketchy. That's sleazy. That's voyeuristic. I was going to say voyeur, but it's more voyeuristic. Allowing Silicon Valley, because voyeur would be more individual. But anyways, allowing Silicon Valley to self-police is to essentially entrust unaccountable corporations with regulating our modern public square. Oh, kind of like how Twitter got busted with trying to, I don't want to say censor in certain cases, but for all intents and purposes, it was about censorship, but like throttling content, you know, shadow banning it, stuff, that's censoring. But, you know, throttling, it's still getting out there, just not easily. But basically, yeah, Twitter just got busted for this stuff. So, I mean, you know, Facebook kind of is in the hot water with they're trying to monitor and regulate social media on their end. So, I mean, it's, oh, excuse me, at a point where you have a situation that no one can be trusted. So no one should be monitoring. I mean, minus those things like kiddie porn and shit like that, obviously. Okay, which, y'all, YouTube, oh, they do fucking wonders on monitoring their platform for that shit. The same with Twitter, too. But that's the extent of monitoring, stuff like that. Because, oh, your feelings are hurt? Well, fine, fuck you. That shouldn't be monitored. And, I mean, when you're talking about Silicon Valley, it's run by leftists. I mean, you really don't want, you know, allowing Silicon Valley to self-police is entrusting these leftists, you know, these unaccountable corporations with regulating a public square that they're only going to allow what they want, the leftist, globalist, cultural Marxist crap, to gain, you know, wide audience would be the best way to put it, I think. Yeah. Because, I mean, you're talking about the exposure. So, yeah, they're going to allow it to get a wider audience because that's what they want. That stuff to be pushed. They're going to give as small an audience as possible, if they can, no audience to anything that goes against that. Congressional committees, while the most democratic form of oversight, can also have chilling effects on speech. Yet whatever concerns may exist about these other bodies, the FBI is the worst possible candidate for the job. I don't know about that. They're kind of competing with the social media companies. They're competing with Google and, you know, with that, you know, it's Google Plus and YouTube censorship. They're competing with Twitter, okay, which has been exposed for major fucking monitoring and censorship. Okay, to the point of where they've got all your dirty little pictures that you've sent your boyfriends and your girlfriends and shit. And you got these sick little fucks, you know, sitting there with these pictures, these desocialized fucking geeks, and all you can hear, you know, while they got your pictures is, oh yeah. Oh, I mean, this is the fucking shit we get going on with Twitter. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know about that. It's kind of a competition here on who's the worst with the FBI and people at, like, Twitter and Facebook and shit. So, I don't know if you want to say the FBI is the worst yet. Because the other ones are pretty fucking bad. Recent public comments indicate that the FBI will alert both private companies and the public to social media-based foreign influence in the upcoming election. Who decides what is foreign influence? This is what I don't get about this one. Because they could literally be saying, okay, this guy is saying something that we want to push with the fucking narrative that it's coming from Russia, or that it's coming from China, or that it's coming from any one of multiple foreign countries. Okay? Because it doesn't go along the lines of the narrative that they want to push, that they want people to believe. And looking at the FBI and what's going on with the memo being released and how many of the people at the high up end of, you know, the agency were involved in some really sick, twisted, corrupt shit. Yeah, I mean, that's some... Who are they to decide? Who is that agent? The FBI is going to decide that this is foreign, this is not? No. It shouldn't be monitoring social media at all. It is then up to social media providers and the public to decide how to respond. Okay, so we're going to have deep state fucks, and the FBI go, oh yeah, this is foreign influence. Then you're going to have the shitbags at Twitter, the leftist fucking cultural Marxists, and the same over at YouTube and fucking, you know, Google Plus, which is pretty much their own internal thing at this point, even though it's public. And at Facebook, you're going to have these people going, oh, here's our excuse. Yep, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. No, that's not a good idea, because that's what their response will be. There doesn't have to be state-mandated censorship for this system to threaten free expression. No shit! That's an understatement, dude. Allowing the nation's top law enforcement agency to designate speech as foreign disinformation is inherently chilling. Well, considering that they repealed the law that stopped the government from propagandizing the American people, the deep state's been taking advantage of it, like with Russia. So, yeah, this is going to be royally fucked up because they're just going to literally label legitimate shit as, foreign agent run stuff. That's what they're going to say. Foreign agent. It's going to be like a broken fucking record. Allowing the nation's top law enforcement agency to designate speech as foreign disinformation is inherently chilling, as I've said, is an understatement. I'm sorry for rereading that line. The FBI itself seems aware of how bad this idea sounds, like from a First Amendment standpoint. Then why the fuck are they doing it? If they really thought it was that bad of an idea, they'd go, okay, we probably shouldn't do this. But yet, you're giving them too much credit. An FBI spokesperson proclaimed, "We're not here to be the thought police." That's obviously clearly not something we would ever want to get into. Sure, the FBI doesn't want to get into that. Sure, the deep state don't want to get into that. Oh, so that's why, the FBI fucking lied about Hillary's email server? They didn't want to be thought police when they're literally lying to you so you will think a certain way? Okay, sure. Anyone familiar with the FBI's own history knows that from its very inception, the Bureau has always sought the role of thought police. Exactly. It has. During the 60s, they literally infiltrated what they considered radical groups. And the funny thing is they had so many undercover people going on that half of these, no, that's an exaggeration, but a lot of these groups were literally made up by people who were on their fucking payrolls, trying to, take down the radicals, trying to censor speech and shit. J. Edgar Hoover got his start in the Bureau of Investigation's Radical Division, also referred to as the General Intelligence Division, where he oversaw the Palmer raids, a mass roundup of political radicals. After the Bureau of Investigation became the FBI and J. Edgar Hoover became its director, it would continue to devote significant resources to policing First Amendment protected speech, such as its infamous COINTELPRO program, which sought to neutralize and disrupt political movements. Oh yeah, some seriously fucked up shit with that. And the funny thing is the FBI was sending death threats to Martin Luther King Jr. trying to shut him up. So yeah, we really don't want the fucking FBI involved in this shit. Especially when it's got so many deep state fucks in it these days. Critics will dismiss such concerns as being anachronistic. No. That's not true. Or tantamount to holding the contemporary FBI responsible for the sins of the past. The FBI has not changed. Holy shit. If anything, the FBI has become more fucking corrupt than when J. Edgar Hoover ran it. Because at least J. Edgar Hoover ran the fucking FBI. Okay? To where it wasn't shielding politicians. To where it wasn't fucking shielding fucking disgusting shit like, kid diddling and child trafficking and fucking human trafficking and sex slave trade and shit like that. It didn't do those fucking things, okay? It wasn't a fucking tool of the deep state, okay? At least Hoover ran the FBI in America's interests, instead of the fucking globalists in the deep state. However, in spite of repeated attempts at reform, the FBI continues decade after decade, year after year, to engage in the same pattern of surveilling dissent. Oh, that's an understatement. For example, the FBI's use of its counterterrorism authorities in recent years has demonstrated a deep-seated political bias. Oh, you think? if you're fucking not a Democrat, if you're not right of fucking left of Marx, well, you're fucked then. Because you're going to be spied on. The FBI has consistently monitored groups that conceded were nonviolent on the grounds that violent activists might someday overtake them. This could be true of any civil society group. But the FBI doesn't monitor just any group. It singles out for counterterrorism investigation groups like the Anti-War School of Americans Watch or the Occupy Wall Street movement. They did more than that because they went after a lot of conservative groups with the fact of, oh yeah, they could end up in militias, they could end up, trying to overthrow the government, they could end up this, that, and the other thing. So you're just trying to make it sound like it goes towards the left, it goes towards the right too. The FBI is corrupt all around. And these days it's more focused on the right than it is the left because you've got the deep state fucking I'm with her fucks running the show, or at least they were until recently. So yeah. Just as was true in the time of J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI has an institutional bias towards believing that movements for economic justice, racial justice, or peace are inherently suspicious. Well, okay. Though the Occupy Wall Street was filled with a bunch of fucking communists and anarcho-communists. Okay, what became anti-fucking-fa. Okay? Those fucking skinny jeans wearing wannabe ninja fuckwits at Occupy became the skinny jeans wearing fucking soy boy fucking ninja wannabes that are in Antifa. So maybe they should have kept monitoring them. Just saying. In that case, it would make sense. There is zero reason to believe that a social media task force would not hold these same political biases. And to make matters worse, many arguing for such actions demonstrate these very political biases themselves. Traditionally, the left has viewed the FBI with skepticism because of its long history of civil rights abuses. Maybe 20 years ago. Now, it's a fucking tool of the Democrats. However, given the Bureau's investigation into Trump's campaign's possible collusion with Russia, the FBI has acquired a semi-heroic status among some on the left who wrongly view it as a check on Trump. What? Overall, public trust in the FBI has declined. It's never really been high, thanks to a stark drop in support amongst Republicans. No, there's a drop in support all the fuck way around. The only fucking people that have any support for the FBI these days are the Trump derangement syndrome fuckwits. They're like the only people. Because the people who don't have Trump derangement syndrome are looking at the situation with the FBI, I'm sorry, I will not call him Mueller. Okay, his fucking name is Mueller. Okay, he can deal with it. It's like Mueller. Okay, he can... all right, he's... oh, God. This is some fucked up shit. Because of all that stuff going on, people don't trust the FBI. To try to say, oh, yeah, well, the Democrats... No. It's only leftist SJW, Trump deranged fuckwits that, those types. The fuckwits that are really back in the FBI these days, and I find it kind of funny. As a result, Trump and the Republicans' absurd attempts to portray the FBI as carrying out a political motivated witch hunt are met with strong defense of the FBI's institutional integrity. The only people that are going, oh yeah, especially today after the memo dropped that the FBI has any fucking integrity, are leftists, SJWs, Trump deranged. I'm assuming Flake did because his fucking puppet master McCain, oh yeah, full of fucking integrity. Okay, sure. I believe that one. Sure. But focusing progressive energy on a defense of the FBI's integrity has serious drawbacks. The FBI was recently exposed for having drafted a report on the black identity extremism, which seems to blame African Americans concerned with police racism for violence committed against police officers. Whoa. You mean the actual fact that they've been committing it on police officers? A lot of the recent police shooting sprees that have been going on have been perpetrated by black men. I think there's a correlation. You were doing good until you went on this one and went off the fucking tracks here, buddy. You were doing good till this point. Trump's second Muslim ban cited as its justification 2 terror plots manufactured by FBI paid informants. They didn't know that they were they were not FBI informants. This is complete misrepresentation. These were fucking people that the FBI convinced that they were dealing with fucking actual, like, you know, Islamic terrorists. They radicalized them, set them on their way, and then busted the plots that they set up with these fucking morons to fail at. They weren't paid informants. They were fucking patsies. Get it right. During his nomination, Trump's FBI director for Christopher Wray declined to say whether he'd refused to spy on mosques. Wray did tell Congress that the FBI was investigating anarchist extremists motivated to commit violence by Antifa ideology. Well, okay. You're actually defending... Whoa, wait a minute. Saying he would refuse to spy on mosques, okay? Especially with the fact that they are locations where Islamic extremists are created. I mean, that's where people are radicalized in these mosques. To have them try to say, "Oh no, we won't monitor mosques," because that's such an encompassing and blanketing statement. Okay, that would say, "Oh no, we're not going to do it at all." But if they say they're not going to do it, and then there's actually a terrorist plot happening in a mosque or radicalization going on, and because they said, "Oh no, we're not going to do it," they don't monitor, and shit just happens, they look bad. And this whole thing of going after the anarchist extremists like Antifa, I got no problem with it. They're a fucking terrorist group. You think a terrorist group shouldn't be fucking monitored? Are you kidding me? Thanks to Russiagate, there's increasingly less space for criticism for these actions to be aired. There should be no criticism about monitoring a fucking terrorist group like Antifa. There should be plenty of space for criticisms on the fact of them not doing enough to fucking thwart these fucking soy boy skinny jeans wearing fuckwits. Holy shit. And this is coming from someone who's a libertarian, because I don't want fucking little soy boy terrorists fucking, you know, doing 20-on-1 fucking pig piles, because that's the only way they can take on one fucking person and fucking almost killing them, if not killing them. I mean, come on now. Don't cover for Antifa here. Whatever conspiracy theories the right may promulgate about the FBI, it isn't very concerned with surveillance of left-wing movements or Muslims. Bullshit! They are concerned with the... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I had to take a deep breath there. Because they are concerned about the surveillance of left-wing movements or Muslims. Because you know what? They want them surveilled because guess what? We've got fucking Islamic terror going on around the world. We've had it in this country. We've got off lucky on that note. We've got Antifa fucking... Shit. Louder Crowder proved it. They're arming themselves. He helped fucking expose them. Like, people got arrested because of Stephen fucking Crowder. That were Antifa. That had illegal fucking weapons. A sawed-off fucking shotgun. Okay? Antifa. They go out. They gang up on one person. Kick the fucking shit out of them. Oh, because they think they're a fucking Nazi. Because, oh, God, they want, you know, legal immigration. I mean... You know, shit like that. They want, oh, I don't know, you know, nationalism. Oh, you're a fucking Nazi. And they get this. So yeah, those groups should be fucking monitored. Especially when they're labeled as terrorist ones. And they're concerned about it. So to try to say they're not is fucking dishonest. And the left will find it difficult to try to raise public trust in the FBI while raising awareness about its continued threat to civil liberties. You can tell where this guy kind of leans. The FBI needs heavy scrutiny from the left. What? Don't monitor Antifa. They're good guys. Fuck you, because that's what you're kind of saying there. And that includes the FBI's social media task force. Efforts to counter Russian propaganda have not focused merely on Trump. What Russian propaganda? If you actually looked into this, the quote-unquote propaganda is RT, an article from Sputnik, and what is now turning out to look like a bunch of fucking MAGA people who were labeled fucking Russian bots. So shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Some of the leading fearmongers about Russian interference have consistently conflated political views they don't like with a foreign attack on our democracy. Okay, you're trying to say Russian meddling, and you leave out the fact that RT is considered one of those people, but then you go and you talk about Occupy Wall Street with RT. Oy vey. RT's coverage of Occupy Wall Street, social media ads promoting Black Lives Matter, and congressional attempts to block U.S. military aid on alleged neo-Nazi militia in Ukraine have all been cited as examples of Russian propaganda's reach within the United States. They're not an alleged neo-Nazi militia in Ukraine. The government that literally took over the Ukraine, all right, can trace its roots, and I shit you not on this one, can trace its roots back to literally Nazis, to fucking Hitler. These are the descendants of the fucking Nazis that were in bed with Hitler and ran Ukraine for him. That, were, loyal to the Nazi party. So shut the fuck up. These are the descendants of those people. So don't say they're an alleged neo-Nazi militia. They are actual, factual, probably one of the only groups you could say that are actual, factual Nazis, because it's been a descendancy thing. So, yeah. I mean, besides George Soros. And they're not alleged. It's documented. Those who object to current U.S.-Russian policy or question key elements of the intelligence community's claims about Russian actions are unfairly tarred as aiders and abettors of a foreign nemesis. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't believe that we're... I've been called a bot. I've been called a Russian agent because I don't believe in the shit that's going on with Russia. I mean, Russia wanted Trump. And I go, yeah, well, you must be a Russian. It's like, what? Well, you're saying they wanted him. Or you must be on my side. You're either a Russian or you're on my side. Because I said that? Well, yeah. Because you're agreeing with me, but you're saying it from an opposing point of view. Well, okay, so I'm either with you or against you. All right, because yeah, all right, well, Russia did want Trump. You want to know why? Because Hillary Clinton wanted fucking war with Russia. Because a no-fly zone over Syria would have ended up in an actual fucking war. They don't want war with the United States. Dissent on purely domestic issues is also now transformed into playing into the hands of the Russians. Given the FBI's proclivities, progressive causes for all of the bluster from the right wing about the Bureau's witch hunt against Trump are likely to be victims of such a task force. Whoa! First off, there is a witch hunt against Trump. This is some fucked up shit. So, given the FBI's proclivities, okay, yeah. Are we talking about individuals? Because, Hoover, he liked to dress up like a woman. That is a proclivity. What proclivities are you talking about specifically? Because there are so many. If you're talking about the agency, you're talking about members of it, you're talking about the deep state aspect of it. What proclivities in particular? And the thing is it's more than just the quote-unquote right wing that's saying that the FBI is on a witch hunt. It's Anyone right of fucking Marx. Anyone who isn't a fucking dumbed down Democrat. It's anyone who isn't a leftist. It's anyone who isn't a fucking SJW at this point. To say it's the right wing is just completely dishonest. It is entirely legitimate to be concerned about foreign interference in our democracy, be it by Russian or any other country. However, this does not mean the FBI should be given carte blanche to carry on free from criticism. Yeah, and the thing is what gets me is you're saying, well, they shouldn't be monitoring actual terrorist groups because Antifa is a fucking terrorist group. I mean, this is some fucked up shit here. This is some fucked up shit. And we certainly should be wary of any attempts to expand the FBI's capabilities to spy on dissent. Social media should be safeguarded from censorship, both public and private, the same way traditional media should be safeguarded. Of all possible bodies to be given the power to delegitimize online speech, the FBI may very well be the worst. Now, I agree with the situation with the FBI, but I'm not agreeing with Chip because it appears to me that Chip leans towards the left. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a leftist, but he's leaning left, possibly far left. And he's concerned about little fuckwits like Antifa being monitored. I mean, that's how this is coming across here. He's not concerned with the fact of the FBI monitoring social media and pushing a fucking false narrative about Trump. He's concerned about Occupy fuckwits that literally, the skinny jeans, fucking ninja wannabes that were there at Occupy, they became Antifa. And he's worried about them being monitored. They're fucking terrorists, Chip. You are defending terrorists, from fucking being surveilled. This is disgusting. Dude, wake the fuck up. I mean, I agree that the FBI, this is just a bad idea. But for completely different reasons, okay? Because to me, a terrorist organization or a terrorist group or whatever. If it's terrorist watch, yeah, they should be monitored. They should be surveilled. Their social media should be looked into. Everyone else, no. Because because the situation is you want people that are threats. I want everyone who aren't the threats to have their rights protected. And even those who want to do us harm. Okay, but if they put it out there publicly, like on social media, hey, I got no problems with it being monitored. On the note of them. If they're openly Antifa, fucking right. If you're, a MAGA, no. If you're your average run-of-the-mill Democrat, no. If you're your average independent, no. If you're everyone else except for a terrorist, yeah, no monitoring allowed. And the whole reason with the terrorists, if you're on a terrorist watch and you're openly talking about being part of a terrorist group, well, at that point, that's probable cause to investigate if you're a threat or not. So, I mean, this is just one scary fucking situation about the FBI here. And they're trying to compare this to McCarthyism. And there's a big difference. And what gets me is there's literal fucking parallels. He's trying to protect communists. Okay? From being investigated by the FBI. Now, monitoring social media? No. But investigating them in other ways, monitoring social media of the general public, a no. But if they're part of if they're fucking commies, they're Antifa, I got no problems with it. If they openly say they are part of a terrorist organization, they should be monitored. And it's not illegal to do so. I mean, anyways. I just thought I would cover this article because this is a scary proposition here with the whole FBI monitoring social media. So, anyway, I think I've covered this well enough, and I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.